Hello, today we'll have a little look at the French reading comprehension for AS level. And we're going to base our example today on the June 2015 past paper. The text we have, this example, is all about attending a job interview. And if you want a better copy of it, the paper is available on our Moodle site in college. For this exercise, you need to read the text, and it says that you must answer in French in your own words as far as possible. It doesn't mean that you've got to change the whole text or the whole phrase. You just need to make some minor modification. This could be just changing a verb ending or using a different subject. It could be using a synonym for some of the words, etc. So the first thing I would do is probably to have a look at the questions and make sure I underline the question word. Okay, so the que. Underline the key words. Un candidat pour préparer l'entretien. Okay, so the first question is asking us, what should a candidate do or what must he do rather, to prepare for the interview? We can also look at the tense that's being used. Here we've got doit, okay, which obviously is in the present tense. Now start thinking as well, do you know any other verb, another way of saying must in French? You've got the verb devoir, as here, qu'est-ce qu'il doit faire? Is there another word you can think of? Now let's have a look at the text. So if we look at the text, we have got the bit there that says à l'avance, okay, in advance. Okay, and we've got two bullet points. There's obviously two things we can use. The question is only worth 1 mark, therefore we only need one answer. Okay, so we've got renseignez-vous sur l'entreprise et sa culture and préparez une préparation de quelques minutes sur vous-même. So renseignez-vous is a reflexive verb, okay, so in the infinitive it would be se renseigner. That would be the infinitive of the verb. And then you have préparer. What is the infinitive of that verb? It's again préparer. It's a regular verb. And now we come to answering the question. So you remember we said doit is in the present tense, and I'm trying to find alternatives to the word doit. Well, the first alternative that comes to mind is il faut, isn't it? Okay. Remember it was renseignez-vous, so the infinitive is se renseigner. Okay. Sur l'entreprise. And compared to the text, I haven't changed an enormous amount of things. All I've done is using il faut followed by the infinitive of the verb that I was given, and that's more than enough. Again, as if you remember, we had another possible answer, okay, which was préparer une présentation de quelques minutes sur vous-même. So again, you could use the same technique. Il faut préparer une présentation. Full stop. And again, that's enough to answer that question. Again, I haven't changed an enormous amount from the text, but I've made some minor changes, which have proved that I've been able to understand the text and the question. And remember that this question carries 1 mark, so therefore you only need one of those 2 points. Moving on to the second question. Again, the question word is there. Que, what? I've got my doit-on, again, here, still in the present tense. Okay, que doit-on faire si l'on arrive en avance? What should we do if we arrive early? So here we notice the word punctualité. That should remind you of a word in English. So the answer is going to be in this paragraph. Okay, de se présenter avec 5 ou 10 minutes d'avance. So, what are you supposed to do if you arrive early? On vous dit, sortez un magazine ou soyez souriant avec le ou la réceptionniste. These are the answers. Now you need to find a way of rewording it again. Well, remember the technique of the il faut. That's going to be followed by an infinitive. So you need to remember what the infinitive of sortez is going to be. So obviously I can't use the on doit because that's in the question and it would be too easy. So again, I'm going to use my il faut. And then the infinitive, the next verb, sortir un magazine. And then we are. Again, it's 1 mark, so you only need to put one thing for the answer. Question 3. Que faut-il faire si l'on risque d'arriver en retard? Again, question word, the que. Faut-il, still in the present tense. So let's go back to the text. Okay, so the answer is going to be here. You have the word en retard there. So what should you do if you're late? Passer un coup de téléphone pour prévenir. Okay, so it's the idea of calling to warn that you're going to be late. So obviously you can't just passer in the imperative form as it is there, so you are going to need to change it. Donc, que faut-il faire si l'on risque d'arriver en retard? Tout simplement, téléphoner pour prévenir. So, again, that's 1 mark. Okay, question 4. Okay, quel look est conseillé pour les hommes et pour les femmes? So again, just make sure I understand the question word. Okay, quel look est conseillé? So what look is recommended for men and for women? So here, I've also got a question which is worth 2 marks. So I've got to fit in, to answer something for les hommes and something for les femmes. So again, let's have a look at the text. So locating the answer in this in the text is quite easy because we've got un look adapté as a subheading there. And then we've got 2 bullet points. Pour les hommes, on dit un costume, des chaussures confortables, le tout dans des couleurs neutres. Pour les femmes, une jupe, mais pas de pantalon. So the problem we could have here is that if we just take un costume or des chaussures confortables, etc., we are actually lifting the text. So we can't use that. We need to make some sort of transformation. So as we can't lift just the words on their own, one thing we could do is to use a verb in the infinitive in front. And since we've got a colon there, that means we're not expected to carry the sentence through. We can just bullet point, in a way, our answer. So we're going to say, we could use porter, we could use mettre, we could use choisir un costume. And that's my first mark. And for les femmes, on peut faire exactement la même chose. Donc on peut utiliser porter, on pourrait utiliser mettre, on pourrait utiliser choisir des chaussures noires, par exemple. Des chaussures noires, and that's my second mark. So for this one, obviously, just lifting un costume, des chaussures noires, or the other elements of clothing from the text would have just been lifting the text. So we needed to make some sort of transformation. Putting a verb in the infinitive in front was just what we needed to do. Question 5 is donner un exemple d'une attitude arrogante. So again, let's have a look at the text. So again, the answer is fairly easy to locate because we talk about l'arrogance. Okay, so the answer must be in there. So we've got 3 bullet points again. The first thing we can see is consulter son portable pendant que le recruteur, etc., etc. So obviously, again, we can't use consulter as it is. This time we can't use infinitive. But maybe you can use another verb, or you can use a completely different structure. So we'll have a look at that with the answer now. So the first thing that we could do is use a different verb. Okay, consulter, you could probably think straight away of the word regarder, son portable. And that gives you 1 mark. You could also look at using a different structure and conjugating the verb consulter. Okay, so for example, you could say si on consulte son portable. And you've probably realized we've used the on form, okay, which is quite an easy structure to use. On consulte son portable. So again, that's a different way of getting the mark. Is either using a different verb or using conjugating the verb that we're given in the text with the on form, for example. Okay, question 6. Quelle attitude peut faire la différence entre un candidat et un autre? So again, question word, quelle, what? What attitude can make the difference between one candidate and another? So let's have a look at the text. Right, so it's right at the top here, where we talk about différence. Okay, so what makes the difference? C'est la motivation. So obviously here I'm not going to be able to use the word motivation on its own because it would be lifting it. So I need to change it somehow. So how could I change it? I could put a verb in front of it. Avoir de la motivation. I could say être motivé. I could talk about an attitude. Une attitude. Motivé. And I'm not actually using a sentence for that, but that's absolutely fine because I'm still answering the question. Okay, once again, for that question, we're guided by the title there, salaire. So we know the answer is going to be probably in this paragraph. Okay, so if you read the paragraph, we can see that there's the word erreur there, demander des informations sur la rémunération, etc. So one error would be to ask quickly, rapidement, des informations sur la rémunération, so the information on the payment. And then we're told, attendez plutôt d'obtenir des détails après l'entretien par un appel téléphonique. So we've got to wait to obtain details after the interview by a phone call. So in other words, what we must do is phone after the interview. So let's try to word the answer. Okay, so the question is, what should we do to discuss the salary with the boss? We can have a long answer. We can start with il faut. But in fact, I'm going to bracket this because it's not really necessary. Téléphoner. Après l'entretien. And that's your answer. So, in this paper, I've tried to show you how you could tackle that exam. So you do not need to change absolutely everything in your answer. You just need to show that you have understood that you haven't just copied a chunk of the text without really understanding, but hoping that the answer is going to be in there somewhere. So in terms of the techniques that you can use, if the text has a conjugated verb, try to use an infinitive. If the text has an infinitive, use a conjugated verb. Use a synonym. We had consulter son portable in this example. You just need to use regarder son portable. You could use a sentence with on, si on regarde son portable, ou si on consulte son portable. Or you could use a noun if the text has a verb, or a verb if the text has a noun. For example, if you've got augmentation, and augmentation is obviously a feminine word because it's an ION word, you could use the verb augmenter. If you've got the verb diminuer, you could use the noun une dimi. I need to redo this one a bit. I'm struggling for space here. Let's try again. Diminution, T-I-O-N at the end. So I hope that's helped you a little bit. Obviously, when we come to do more past papers and practice papers, we'll probably come across different techniques that we can use for different examples. So I hope anyway this has helped you a little bit.